Comedy, from the Greek komoidia, is any discourse or work generally intended to be humorous or to amuse by inducing laughter. There is improvisational comedy, jokes, puns, referential comedy, stand-up, and all of it is subjective. It all depends on the tastes of the audience. The romantic comedy is a popular genre that depicts burgeoning romance in humorous terms and focuses on the foils of those who are falling in love. Usually it's boy meets girl or girl meets boy, wacky comedic hijinks ensue, and in the end they fall in love and end up together. It's formulaic, it's predictable, and it's usually very dialogue driven. Let's talk about I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay. The movie from Netflix's genre breakdown is categorized as an independent comedy, foreign comedy, romantic comedy, Korean movie, comedies, independent movie, romantic foreign movie, romantic movie, and romantic independent movie. I want to compare I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay to another film with similar genre labels. Bunny and the Bull is categorized as a romance film, comedy, indie film, and romantic comedy. An opening scene, by definition, is the opening scene. It is used to set the stage, introduce the characters, and establish a tone. Let's watch the opening scene of both films. They both have creative uses of CGI to display the credits. Bunny and the Bull does not start with a violent electrocution. In the very next scene, every bit of expository dialogue delivered by Sulmi is a lie. I offer now the opportunity to say that this movie is not about the reality of institutions nor the reality of mental illness. That's like saying Jurassic Park isn't about dinosaurs or Titanic isn't about a sinking ship. Well, let's get into the comedy, shall we? These are the times I distinctly remember the audience laughing. Did everybody see how funny that was? Wait, let's watch it again.
알지? 자, 이거거든? 비행 직전엔 닭고기 같은 건 피해야겠지?
I offer now the opportunity to say that this movie is not about the reality of institutions nor the reality of mental illness.
선생님, 벌써 일주일째인데 펜으로 뭘 좀 넣어줄까요? 일단은
Did everyone see how funny that was? The part where all the orderlies are ignoring their patient and Young Soon, catatonic from malnutrition, slides out of the wheelchair. I offer now the opportunity to say that this movie is not about the reality of institutions nor the reality of mental illness. Let's compare how the mentally ill are handled in I'm a Cyborg But That's Okay compared to a scene from Ace Ventura.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind. I'm going to execute a button hook pattern super slow-mo. Let's see that in an instant replay.
Your brother won't be the first professional football player we've treated.
Is that right?
Yes, we're very sensitive to the emotional stress that athletes have to endure.
I'm open! I'm open!
We'll have to do some preliminary evaluations, but I think your brother will fit in nicely here.
Over here! 351! 351! Rover, sit! Hut!
He seems to have some difficulty letting go of the game. Has he had a long history of mental illness?
As long as I've known him.
And this is one of our therapy rooms. And we do arts and crafts out here in the courtyard. And this is the storage room. And down the hallway here, we have another...
He'll be fine there by himself for the next 20 minutes.
This scene is funny because it is not an attack on the mentally ill. Ace Ventura is performing. He is acting within the confines of the story as an integral moment to the plot to get some information. It is self-deprecating humor. He is performing physical comedy in order to prompt a comedic response. He is not making fun of the patients. He is making fun of himself. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this up here. I'm gonna go get a wild cherry Pepsi. I'll be right back.
Pittsburgh is a shovel and bucket town. Gritty as gravel and tougher than a $4 steak. But Pittsburgh's also a satin and roses town, woven with beauty from its rivers and hills to its nationally acclaimed ballet company. Those two could never collide, could they? Oh yes, yes they could, and they do, in the Pittsburgh Steelers' 320-pound nose tackle, Steve McClendon.
3, 2, 1, straighten up, then straighten your legs.
Once a week, big, bruising Steve McClendon becomes a ballet dancer. Okay. Once a week, big, bruising Steve McClendon takes a ballet class. Season or no season. He started this during his college days at Troy.
I needed like an extra credit or two, and the first day I walked into the class, and there was nothing but females in there, and I was the only guy. Then she told me it could help you with football. I was like, oh, if anything help me with football, I'm willing to do it.
Now McClendon, in his 5th season, is strengthened by hours of grueling pliés and glissades.
It helps me strengthen my ankles, my toes, my feet. It's basically like my whole lower body. It helps me strengthen all that, and anything can help me prevent injuries.
He is the ballet baller, but getting his teammates to do it with him, that's been way harder.
I tell them it's really tough, it's really hard. It's not what you think it is.
Do they think you're gonna wear a tutu or something?
Always, everyone thinks that.
He finally did get defensive ends Ziggy Hood and Al Woods to come to a practice.
What'd you think when you heard about, hey, come to my ballet class?
Think he's nuts.
Not a nut, a nutcracker.
You think of ballet, you think of, tutus and ladies jumping around and things of that nature, but when I actually came and did the class, I felt like I had played a whole football game.
What if offensive linemen hear about this?
Izzy be even better. I want him to hear about it.
Hey, Steve, dance me Swan Lake.
And I'm gonna dance on him.
If they get beat down by the guy that takes ballet, that's the real shame right there. That's the real shame.
Try to keep them both straight.
What's unusual about Steve as opposed to other students?
Well, a lot of my students are women, so they normally don't leave puddles of sweat underneath them when they're finished.
McClendon's not the first Steeler to try ballet.
Hi there, Lynn.
Hi, Bob.
Hard to see you. Fine. Mr.
Hi,
Rogers
Lynn.
is here.
Hi, Fred.
Good
How are
to
you?
see you?
Hall of Fame receiver Lynn Swann was as graceful in cleats as he was in ballet slippers.
Lynn solo, échappé, and pose again, and finish. Very good.
Very nice.
Okay, would any of these Steelers want to try out for the Pittsburgh Ballet?
Trying to spin like a top. No.
McClendon is no Alejandro, but he might be the closest thing to Baryshnikov the NFL's got. And besides, they don't make leotards this big.
I took ballet for 8 years. I'm serious, preteens through teens. I was the only male at my school. So yeah, I am totally marked as inferior to heterosexual white masculinity. A 320-pound nose tackle, I'm sure, is also used to being marked as inferior to heterosexual white masculinity. If this movie is about anorexia, why isn't it about anorexia? If you take the story at face value, Young Soon won't eat because she thinks she will break down. There are tons of movies that approach this topic but are delivered in a realistic documentary-type fashion. Hey, look at that! Thin came out in 2006, the same year that I'm a Cyborg But That's Okay came out, and was selected for competition at the 2006 Sundance Film Festival, and won the John Grierson Award for the Best Feature-Length Documentary at the London Film Festival the same year. A not that wise man once said,
Hey, Mark! Who here thinks that I look very similar to Tom Cruise? Thank you.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Like Tom Cruise in that movie, Born on the 4th of July, that one? Where he's handicapped and retarded and stupid, and nobody likes him, and he just shits all over himself, and he's a fucking asshole. Hey!
That was mean.
That's right.
Never attack somebody that shits on himself.
and he has a point. Never attack a man that shits on himself. If you want to examine Blink-182's toilet humor, you will notice most of it is self-deprecating. What's my age again? Voyeur, pathetic, going away to college, online songs, first date. Mark, Tom, and Travis know they are losers, and they use their unacceptable behavior to write pop-punk ballads. They don't write songs about the mentally ill or handicapped.